Well, you're looking, I thought they were going to cart you off there for a second. What happened? I guess before we talk about the race, what happened at the finish? Was that just cramping, or?
Yeah. I think in like the final 100 meters, I was just really putting it on, and like I suddenly started feeling it in my calves, my feet. I think I was just like I lost so many electrolytes out there, and so yeah, I was really holding it together. And then when I stopped, I was just like, whoa. But I think that's pretty normal. I don't know.
So 13th?
13th, yeah.
Pretty pleased with that?
Yeah, very happy. Goal was top 15, top 20. It's a tough race to objectify, like, what would be a good place for me, because, maybe, I have a 212 PR, so maybe a top 30 or 35 seed based on time. But, if I just run a smart race and just kind of move my way up through the race, I thought, maybe top 15 would be a great performance. And, the other big goal is to just getting through the first two 10K laps as comfortable as possible, and just being really patient. So at the final, from 30 to 40K, I could really move up and try to take advantage of any of the casualties from the front.
And your half splits were almost even. I mean, a little bit slower the second half, but
yeah.
You probably, except for the winner and maybe second or third place, you're probably the only guy really to do that.
Yeah.
You feel good the whole way?
I mean, it didn't feel good the whole way, but I mean, I think that's probably the best it could have felt out there. It definitely could have felt a lot worse if I went out in 105. I mean, I don't know what I would have come back in. And so, like I said, today wasn't a day where I would just look at my wristwatch and think about splits, but just really try to monitor, my sensory data and see, like, if I can get through, 20K, 30K as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, did you have a pace goal in mind or halfway, or just more how you felt?
Really, by feel, I mean, I thought coming into this, maybe like 213 to 215 would probably be, equivalent to running at, around my personal best. And, like I ran 212 in really good conditions last year in Chicago. It would have been tough to run 212 today. I mean, so, I just really didn't focus on time or splits, really just getting out there, getting into a good rhythm, and not going into the red line too early.
You compare this with your experience in Daegu?
Diametric opposites. I mean, in that race, I felt when I got through about halfway, like I was redlining it. And I mean, incidentally, in that race, I was 107 through the half, or on 214 pace, and I think I finished like 223. So today, I just didn't want to replicate that, or I really wanted to learn from that experience in Daegu, and that's why I didn't really think of like, well, I have to get to the halfway point at this, or I have to get to 30K at this. Like, just really monitor how I'm feeling out there, take a lot of fluids, and, if I can, just keep working my way up in position. And man, I think I really executed that today.
Yeah, you did well.
Where do you feel like you're at now as a marathoner? I don't know how many this is for you at this point.
I don't know how many are there, like a dozen or so. No, I mean, this is a huge step forward. I mean, it's good to I'm getting better at running. I'm getting close to running a respectable time, and now in a championship setting, I'm showing I can be competitive and be pretty savvy about how I race. And so I think this is a huge step forward. And I mean, 13th in the world is great. And in a race like this, in a championship race, it's really hard. Like the favorites, you can't predict who's going to do well and who's going to suffer out there. And I mean, maybe a little bit of luck was on my side today, because some other athletes didn't have great days. But I'm really pleased, and this is great momentum moving forward. Next marathon is going to be New York City in November, and I mean, I'm super excited for that. And I just take in this experience and just kind of carry forward and keep the momentum going.
Talk about the training situation a little bit. Carlos and Daniel both are working or just got out of law school. Like, what's going on with you with that?
What's going on with me? I just moved to Boulder, Colorado, and I mean, right now I'm just focusing on training. I mean, I don't have a lucrative, salary. I'm kind of just living off what I earn from running, and I've worked part-time jobs in the past. Right now I'm not working, and I've just focused all summer on running. I mean, at this point, marathon, I'm 28 years old. It's priority number one for me, and I really want to see how far I can go with it. And I mean, each year I just keep getting better and better. So I mean, I'm continuing to make more of an investment in it. But yeah, I mean, my training situation is awesome up in Boulder. I train by myself, coach myself. If I have any questions, I have coaches and other athletes that can support me and help me along the way. My girlfriend paces me on the bike, and she, gives me the support I really need. So, I mean, I'm I'm so blessed. I have the optimal training situation for me right now. So
why yourself? Why do you choose to coach yourself?
Because at 28 years old, and you know, like I said, probably run a dozen marathons. Like I've learned a lot about the sport. I wouldn't claim to say I know all the answers, but I've really found what's worked for me and what I've been responsive to in training and you know, just determining my races. And so yeah, it's just a system that really works well for me, and I kind of thrive off of it. And I mean, Jay's a great example. You know, I ran my own race. I ran by myself out there. It's just like going out and doing, you know, a marathon pace run by myself in Boulder. It hurts, and you know, you got to just keep thinking about moving forward, but you know, staying in your own zone, and it really helps me.
So now versus like when you first did marathons, what are you doing differently? I mean, what's working?
Just maturing, you know, and my workouts are definitely getting faster. I don't want to say like there's any magic workout that I'm doing now that I wasn't doing my first marathon or second marathon, but just maturing under the training. And you know, there have been some segments where I do more volume, and some where it's like right now it's been more intensity, and just working on extending an effort. And you know, like maybe my goal down the line is try to get to around 2:10, so still kind of zoning in on that effort, and you know, running 5-minute pace or 4:58 pace.
What was your longest hard run for this?
40K.
Did you do that by yourself?
Yeah.
And your girlfriend's on the bike?
No, she wasn't on the bike for that. It was just me.
Solely by yourself?
Yeah.
And do you use a GPS, or you just out there running on feel, or what?
Use my Garmin, and you know, I can do loops, and so I'll put bottles in the back of my car and just grab a bottle when I go by every 5K or whatever.
What sort of pace you do for that?
Boulder, I mean, that's like 5:20, 5:30 pace. But sometimes I'll do it with like 5K surges, and you know, maybe I'll run 5K in 15:30 and then back off for a K, and just stuff like that. But you know, working on specific marathon pace, and then moderate, and then going back into marathon pace.
All right. Well, good job today.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Best of luck.
Sure.